Oh, for God's sake. Hello! Tweed's Garage speaking. Oh, hiya. Okay. Yeah, I can do that for you. But for nothing less than a decent cooked breakfast. Okay, I'll see you later. Right, where was I? Hello and welcome to Tweed's Garage, where in this episode we're in Chris's garage working on a modern classic. I know it's Japanese, but it is a classic. It's 26 years old, immaculate condition, and we're going to be working on it today. We're going to do a sort of top end filter change and have a look at the carburetors because it's a bit spluttery, and spark plugs as well. So if you've got one of these and you want to know how to take the carbs off, we're going to show you. So, as we're dealing with petrol and stuff like that, we better put on some proper protective gear. There we go. Oh, and it's a sports bike, so we better turn the hat that way, so we're fully equipped. Right, let's get into it. Tea first. And the first thing when working on Japanese bikes that have crosshead screws is not to go at them with your Phillips or your posi drive, because they're not actually a Phillips or a posi drive. They're actually a Japanese crosshead screw, and you can tell that by that. They normally have a little dot in between the V of the cross there, so you can get them. You get Japanese crosshead screwdrivers, and that will stop you mashing them up. That is why most old Hondas that you go and work on, all the crosshead screws are absolutely mullered, because people have put Phillips or posi drive screwdrivers in. And this is a set here that I purchased for the toolbox. They don't look any different, just look like a Phillips screwdriver, but they are actually slightly different, hence why they get mashed up. So these are the parts we've got: spark plugs, new fuel filter, air filter, and the Haynes Book of Lies for the gaps for the spark plugs. So we'll make a start. First, remove the pillion squab. There you go. Then we remove the bracket holding the main seat on, 10mm. So you remove the bolt and the bracket that holds it down, and the seat comes off, and then we start to remove the tank. Try and do this job when your tank's nearly empty, so you don't have to lug a full tank of fuel around. Same again, two 10mm bolts. There we go. And then two 10mm at the front. And then remove the overflow tube. And remember where this goes, because the last time we spent about an hour looking for where it went, thinking it went on the carburetors somewhere. There we go. Tuck that out of the way. stick that there. And then make sure the fuel's turned off and remove the fuel tap. Phillips screw in the middle, or Japanese Phillips screw. Just like that. Need a pair of pliers and remove the fuel hose from the tap. And then with a small screwdriver, just lever the fuel hose off. Right, then we lift it up gently. There we go. Fuel hose off. There's no fuel gauge on this one, so it all just comes. Where's the breather? Is there another breather? I don't think there is. There we go. So there we go. So the next thing to come off is the air box. So disconnect the hoses. Breather hose from the top. 10mm sockets again. I think the later ones use Allen bolts. And drop the clip away off the airbox for the cable. And these back three are quite long ones. They go into the, I think this one goes into the base plate for the filter. And pop them away so we don't lose them. And if you wanted to get to your air filter, it's under there, just like that. And there's another 2 bolts holding the box to the carburetors. There we go. Take that out for changing in a minute. And then a bit of a wiggle. Move the cables out of the way. Just wiggle the airbox out of the inlet tubes. And then away it goes. So there we go, the carbs are exposed. Ready to take them out, so we disconnect the throttle position sensor on the side. Just squeeze the clip, give it a wiggle, move that out of the way. And then remove this breather hose at the top. Tuck it out of the way. And then another breather hose on the bottom of the filter plate. There we go. Right, that's that one, that one, that one. Release the fuel hose at the back. Take that away. Oh, there's an adjuster, there's an idle adjuster on the side of the frame. Need to unclick it out of its hook. And then that will pull through the frame out the way. Throttle cables and choke cable next. And our proper screwdriver, because even these ones have the little pip on them. Okay. Split the halves. Get some slack on the cable. Hook one side out. That allows you to turn it the other way. line the cable up with the slot and then just push it out. There you go, that releases your cables, gives you enough slack to get them off the carburetors. Okay, so before we release the cables, got to undo the clamps on the carburetor rubbers. They're a bit of a fiddle to find, but they are in there. One there. So there's 4 of them, one for each carburetor, one down there. You have to do these by feel really, you can sort of see them. Basically, let's have a look. It's just a case of keep going and getting the right angle on them, but you can get them, but you can't see them, you can just feel them. And then the other one is sort of opposite at the same angle. So with them slacking off, should be a case of wiggling the carbs off the rubbers. There we go, like that. And then release the cables like that. Like that. That's your throttle adjustment. And they just slide out of there. I just put a bit of tape on so he saves us time putting them back on, we don't get mixed up. And then we've got the choke cable on the back. The choke cable. Just pull it, move it out the slot, let it drop back, and then wiggle it out. There you go, there's the choke cable out. The other coolant hose on the other side. There we go. And that is them free. And then just to stop any bolts falling down, put a paper towel in there. There we go. So then once we've got everything off and it's easy to get to, we'll change the fuel filter, which is down here. Slip the rubber clip back. And then slip the clip back. There's the pipe. There we go. One fuel filter. Right, new fuel filter. There.
Next week doing the cars next time.
Then snug that back on, clip back on, and the main clip back on. There we go. So next we move on to changing the spark plug. So remove the breather assembly. It's just clipped on like that. Gives us access. And then check that the plug leads are numbered, which these ones are 4, 3, 2, 1. And then remove those out of the way gently. Give them a bit of a, try and pull them straight up so as not to break them. Them ones are a nuisance because you've got to move these pipes out of the way. And then we'll change the spark plugs one by one, and you use the tool in the toolkit, which is what it says in the Haynes manual as well, which is this. But we think there's a part missing of Chris's toolkit. It's got screws, because it also doubles up as a screwdriver handle. But in the manual, Haynes manual, their one sticks up above the plug hole, whereas this one disappears down out of the way. Look, when you push it on the plug, it disappears down there. And you can't get on it. So a little, if you have got this, I don't think you'd use the Phillips, to be honest with you. I'd sort of maybe lop that off and put a little L or T handle on the end of it, so you can just put it down and undo the plugs. But hopefully we've got my little King Dick put on there. That's it. They're only a 10mm screw. Oh, there's a bit of a stone there. Let's get rid of that. Just make sure there's no debris sitting there waiting to go down there. Got lots of grit thrown up from the road. There we go. And then just unscrew that. Out the way. Modern tools are great, but sometimes some of these little adjustable spanners are quite handy. So, grab yourself a King Dick, said the bishop to the actress. Just treat them gently. You don't want to snap the isolators off because they're tiny little plugs. There we go. And it's got a rubber grommet so it grips the plugs. There we go. These will be the tricky ones. Right. There we go. There we go. The reason I'm doing it with the one out the toolkit is these 10mm sockets won't fit down the hole. Last plug. There we go. So according to the Haynes Book of Lies, plug gap is 0.7 to 0.8. So I've got feeler gauges there, I've got 0.7 and a 0.8, and then we'll check the plugs. Some say they're gapped at the factory, but they are set at a certain gap, but not necessarily the one you need. And also, box might have been dropped on its end, so it's worth checking. Right, so the 0.8 is tight, 0.7 slips in, so that one's fine. Point 8 is tight, 0.7 slips in, so they're probably about 0.75. Okay, let's pop them in. What we will do is give the thread a little bit of copper slip on each one before we pop them in. And then gently turn them, try and keep them straight so not to cross thread them. Then wind it down. Copper slip helps with this.
Put it on the journey home now.
Yeah.
I know what it'll be next time I phone her.
What's that?
Hello, hello, Al. Look. Al. Hello.
What's it, the old joke? What's white and goes dead in your hands? Oh, I don't know.
Next one. Do you think you could make a bit out of this? Yeah. Oh, you know what you should have done? What's that? You should have put in there UAV that breakfast. That would make up give you a few thousand. Yeah. 1,000 votes. Wouldn't it? Yeah. Well, I've got a bit of video of it, so I'll put that in. Yeah. I might use that as the front pagey thing. Yeah. Man eats breakfast and services Ninja ZX6. Yeah, just see if it goes to a wider. I mean, that bloke with the beard, he gets 1.5 million. Yeah, done it. I sometimes watch those, I like quite a lot of modern dancers and that, you know, girls doing it. You don't think sit well outside is nice looking at but I mean, they're good dancers. Yeah. But 15 million. Yeah. I mean, is that a money spinner, that? Yeah, if you've got that many views, yeah. Yeah, I won't get rich working on crappy old British tea straight, put it that way. That's all right, it's all right. Right, I'll take that, done with that.
He works so fast, his tools are on fire.
There we go. That's it. Right. I'll just give the
Yeah, it's interesting.
plug caps a bit of a clean. And push them home. Two. Number 3. That's it. And just check they're all home. So the next job is just to check the carburetors. We cleaned them a little while ago, but they were overflowing, so one of the needles is sticking on one of the floats. So again, you can see on here the Japanese Phillips, they got the little dot on them. Japanese Phillips screwdriver. And they do fit perfectly, rather than you always feel like you're slightly chewing them up with a Phillips. Do them one at a time so they don't get lost. So these are your jets here if you need to clean them. So you've got just a screwdriver and those two on two. Not sure about this one, that's quite a big one, so it's mainly this one. Got your main and your idle there. So we need to take those out, so we need a little pokey stick. And just remove the float shaft. And the float. Unhook it from the needle valve. And just, there's your valve. They look okay, we'll just give them a clean. Yeah, so give them a bit of a clean, pop it back in. Pop the float back in, just check there's nothing. No, they're okay. Make sure you get it hooked back on. And what we'll do, we'll hook that off of the carbs. Yeah, okay. So hook the needle valve on the float, drop the float back in. There we go. There we go. Axle pin back in. Check the gasket's okay. Pop it back on. Just go around and tighten them evenly and gently.
Yeah, okay, there's a focus. Might just be a bit of muck. Disturbed. This is the float valve so that it lets the fuel in. You know, it meters the amount of fuel floating into the carburetor. Ridge on them, and they don't seat properly. And repeat. And just have a general check and make sure the bowls are clean, and if not, clean the sediment out and check your jets.
The first thing we do is fit the new filter element, which just clicks in there and blows away. Move the old one. Right, so we've got a new element. That's it. New element in. Oh yeah, you can see the difference. That's all. This all gets squashed down when you tighten it down in the filter box. Okay, next we'll put the carbs back on. So remove those. Just leave the rubbers up a bit, make life easier. Right, we'll put the breather back on. That's it. Oh, that goes over there, doesn't it? Like that. There we go. So move the cables out of the way.
I might take a photo of it.
Yeah.
When back.
I think we're all right at the moment. First thing was the choke. So hook that in like that. Get round. pull the assembly back. That's it. And the other one is this. Don't get this tucked up, that's the throttle adjustment that goes down through the frame. Just rest it there. Got the upper, the lower. Put it in like that. Make sure it's sitting in properly. So there's one. And now one goes on like that. Just push that back through. There we go. That one down there. That hose goes on there. And the hose clip back on. And then we've got one the other side. That one there. Like that. Make sure that one's on okay. Right, and then we'll pop the carburetors home. Check they're home properly. Yeah, they're okay. They're on, nothing's trapped behind. That goes on there. Airbox breather. And they have a breather there. Make sure everything's sitting out the way, nothing's caught up. Right, screwdriver. Oh, they're a pickle. That's it. And that one, it's reasonably easy to see. That one, and then the other two have to go by feel. One under there, and that one. That's that one. And put the cables on, give them a bit of a lubrication. So then we hook these back in again. That one at the back. That one at the front. That's it. Check the action of that. It's alright. Check the choke works. Yeah, you can see down there, look down. Okay, all done. We'll connect the fuel back up. Fuel, yeah, throttle position sensor, click, that's done, Coolant hose there, feed this throttle adjuster back in under the frame, goes there, clips in there. And then we've just got the fuel tank connection left, breather, air box. So, wriggle the air box in under the cables. There we go. And then the air filter, that way downwards.
We know what that is, don't we, Mr. Tweed?
We do. We do
what that
now.
is.
Well, if they're all listening, they'll be going, it's the overflow for the fuel tank. Right. So, there we go. Three long ones at the back. Three short ones at the top. That's it. That's it. Put it there so we don't lose it. And then put the clip back on. That's it. The fuel tap back on. Okay. Got the bracket. Seat back on, seat bracket, right. That's it. So there you go, service on a Kawasaki Ninja ZX6, and a happy Chris because it's going very nicely now. So some of you might think it's modern, but it's 26 years old, and if that doesn't make you feel old, Gary Newman released Cars 44 years ago. There you go. No, not now, Gary. So there you go, hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you again. Cheerio. Right, Chris, cup of tea. Kawasaki Ninja
ZX6.
ZX6. This is why it's taken 2 years to do the Riley. I would have had it done in a week. Would have had it done in a weekend.